Hello, this is a quick demo of some of the basic functionality. Here we are looking at a board, and a board has got bins on it, and bins have got tickets in them. So in this board, you've got these white bins in the expedite lane and some grey bins in the standard lane, and then you've just got a blue drawing behind it and some titles and things to give it some meaning. There's a little plus button on a bin if it's configured to take tickets, to create tickets. So I can click on the plus button, and then this bin is configured for stories and bugs. So I can click on story to say the new story. I can create another one. I can also add a ticket with a shortcut key. To see the shortcut keys that are available, I press the question mark button, and I can see that to add a new ticket above the pointer, I press the A key. So if I have my pointer, let's put it on this bin here, then I press A, then I can create a new bug here, for example. And we've created a new ticket. Then we can drag these tickets. So I'll move this new story into analysis and design. And as I do so, you'll see the WIP limit up here has just gone up to 4. Move it back for a second, it's at 3. If I click on that limit, it tells me what bins it applies to. So this limit is configured for these 4 bins, and this limit for these 4. And then this limit over here has been configured for this lane of bins. So you can have any kind of combination and overlap of limits. Just basically a limit applies to a selection of bins. So if I was to move this up into the expedite lane, then you would see we'd exceed our WIP limit of 1, and the whole lane would go red. Okay, so here we are looking at the vendor team. But let's say those expedite tickets come in through a triage process from another board. So I'll go off to this issue triage board, and here's our issue triage process. And so in this case, you can see the bins are arranged quite differently. They're not on a grid, and they've got some drawing behind them to give meaning to the visual layout of those bins. So here we're going to add a new ticket at the call center. So the call center bin has been configured for discussions and production issues. So I'll add a production issue. We'll say search result pagination error. Okay, so then that one goes through the process. We'll bring that into triage, and we decide that it is an expedite problem because you can't get to the second page of results or something. And then we decide, well, that's a development problem, and it needs to go into the vendor team. So let's go and look at the vendor team board at the same time. So I'm just going to open up a second browser view here. So this could just be on another computer. And here you can see we've got this another bug. So I'm just going to pull that out of the expedite queue for a second. We've decided it's not expedite worthy. And now I'm going to move this search result pagination error into the vendor input bin here. And that bin is the same one as what's on this board, so it's appeared in this board here. So now we can continue to work with it on the vendor board. So here we've got one team, the vendor team, but it's one of many. So we've also got a Java team here, which happens to have some charts on it. And we've also got a .NET team. So these 3 teams are working together in one organization. So we can go to another view here, and now we've got those 3 teams in context, and you've also got that issue triage process around the outside there, or at least part of it. And so now we can see the big picture of what's going on. We can also, if we want to, go and zoom in on part of it. So we just look at the Java team here. We'll just go and look at the .NET team. Again, we'll press Fit just to zoom out to see the whole thing. So this is the current state. You can see where all the tickets are at. You can go up here and go to Replay Board, and then we can look at what's happened over time. So I'm just going to go for a particular period of time that I know I've got a bunch of data for. And as you can see the amount of activity is represented by this graph. So if I click on a point in time, I can see what the board looked like at that point in time. I can go and click at another point, and I can see what it looked like then, including what WIP limits were being exceeded. And I can also press play to watch a replay to see how the tickets moved. Go back to our vendor board again. Actually, we'll go to the Java team. So here we have the Java team. Let's say as a developer in that Java team, we'll move this ticket back here for a second. As a developer in that Java team, you may only care about the input coming from analysis and design and what you're currently working on. You don't need to see the whole thing. So we've got another board here set up just for Java Dev, and that board has just got those has just got the selection of bins that we care about. So I'm going to leave that. Maybe I shrink it up a little bit because the Java developer doesn't want to use up all of their desktop real estate just for this, so they make it nice and small. Maybe even smaller than that. We'll pop that up over there. And then somebody else in the team moves this new prod issue into analysis done. And so now, of course, it's arrived in the development team. So the developer picks it up, works on it, and then moves it off to done. And then that gets moved off into testing, and it's gone from the developer's board. So you can see you can make different kind of boards by selecting different bins. You can join boards by having bins sitting on multiple boards, and that way you can move tickets around between parts of the organization, and you can visualize different parts of the workflow or different multiple workflows using this construct.